Some Star Wars Battlefront news, a game we haven't talked about in a little while. Um, and apparently they are going to be releasing some DLC that involves a Death Star expansion. And they are also including an offline mode called Skirmish. Comes out July 20th, so only a few days from now, from the time of this recording. And according to lead designer Dennis Bronval, it is going to offer players the option to play offline against bots in a solo mission or with a friend using co-op split screen. This will be on console only, not PC. Two difficulty options. You'll be able to do it in Walker Assault and Fighter Squadron. From my experience with the game, Walker Assault is one of the more popular modes for it. And they basically said that, yeah, we hope Skirmish brings players a new way to enjoy Star Wars Battlefront. I'm thinking he also means some new players in. And they also talked about a couple other things that they're going to be bringing up. So when I first saw this, I was a little bit excited, a little bit encouraged, and I was just thinking like, oh, okay, so you're bringing offline content. You know, maybe if I can pick up the game for cheap, I might. But then I started really reading what they were saying. And they're basically, it's the same game. You're just playing against bots, though. There's still not a campaign. There's no story mode. You're just basically playing a shooter game in the Star Wars, by yourself or with a friend on a couch, which is great. I'm glad that they did that. But you're still just playing missions that happen to take place in the Star Wars universe. And it's not enough for me.
Yeah.
But
I mean, like, they've already lost me with this first game. Like, chances are I won't buy it. The Death Star expansion pack, however, uh, that
it looks nice. It looks really nice.
is it going? It says it's going to have new ground and space maps, weapon start cards, and 2 years. One of these characters is described as larger than life, and some dice known players have been waiting for.
I think they're hinting at it being Chewy.
I think one thing that I was really sad about was that there wasn't like space fights in this game. I'm really hoping that the Death Star actually has, like, from the looks of it, it is saying that they're going to have space fights. So hopefully they don't do like fighting half inside of the Death Star and then the other half like, oh, you can go outside of the Death Star and there's zero gravity or there's low gravity.
Oh, I don't think they would do that. I think they would do something like you can fight both outside the Death Star in a fighter, or you can come in and dock and then like get out on foot in the Death Star and fight there too.
I hope that's what they mean, because one of my favorite parts about the Battlefront. I kept thinking Battlefield. Battlefront.
I don't blame you.
Yeah, it's like one word difference.
They're also very similar.
Yeah, but Battlefront 2 was the space fights. Like, it wasn't complicated at all. It was take a ship, fly outside, shoot some people, blow up their ships, get in the big ship, blow that shit up from the inside. And you know, it's not complicated, but it's still fun because you still like. I think one of the coolest parts about Star Wars, other than the lightsaber fights, is the gunship fights. Like, that's so cool, just seeing these like cool space planes flying around, shooting lasers at each other, shooting
giant
photon
cruisers,
rockets.
and
Yes. that was one of the coolest parts. And then when I saw this, so much disappointment came from it because Battlefront 2 had so much, and then this came out, and it was like, it's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be really cool. And I was like,
Yeah.
no, you're half a game.
Did you ever play either of the PSP exclusive Battlefront games?
No.
They're amazing. They're, in my opinion, they are better than Battlefront 1 and 2, the original Battlefront 1 and 2. They're that good. They started the customize your own character with, there were Renegade Squadron was the first one, and then Elite Squadron was a second. Renegade Squadron, you had like 100 credits, and you had a loadout that you would customize. You can customize the look of your guy, different colors. Um, and then, of course, I had a single player mode that was great. It told story, filled in some of the lore, and those space battles were actually better than the ones in Battlefront 2 because they were able to I guess retool it a little bit, where you could either, you know, very similarly, I think you could fly into the ship and disable it from inside, or disable the shields from inside, but you could also go outside the ship and do it, or, you know, outside flying around in a bomber or something like that, but it would take much longer than just flying into the ship. And then in Elite Squadron, the execution was kind of clunky, but I mean, it was PSP, so, you know, even then when Elite Squadron came on, the system was showing its age. But you could, all the battles had a simultaneous planet side to it, as well as a space battle. And if you, like, you could do things like, you had to capture the ion cannon on the map, then aim at the enemy cruiser in space and fire at it to disable its shields. Then you would find a fighter, you'd fly up to the sky, and when you got to a certain point, you just hit a button where you would transition to the space battle, get into the ship, and either, you know, destroy it from the outside or fly onto it and, like, set det packs. It was really cool. Again, it's not quite as fun as it sounds like, because there was some clunkiness to it. It would, like, kind of, especially when you would transition between planet and ship. And then if you destroy the ship, then you could just, you know, get a fighter, escape from the ship before it explode, go back down to the planet and capture some more points and everything like that. To me, that is like the perfect version of Battlefront.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
That's what I was expecting. Like, I think one of the trailers it showed like people were fighting on the ground, and then it showed like ships. Like I think it was like Hoth. They were like flying around and like shooting each other. And then one ship decides to like fly up a little bit, and it went into the sky. And then like this huge just warship fight was like gunships were just shooting everywhere, and it just looked awesome. So me and a few of my friends were like, "Oh my gosh, you can totally fight on Hoth, and then if you find a ship, you can just fly into space and do a ship battle. Like that would be amazing."
Yeah. They did it on the PSP, for crying out loud. So you could easily do this.
Yeah, but sadly, this and that's another thing. I've had so many people tell me like, "This Battlefront's amazing. Why don't you like it?" I was like, "Are you kidding me?"
It's pretty. And
Aesthetics alone are not enough.
and the sound design is pretty incredible.
Okay, the thermal grenade sounds amazing.
Love the
That's
sound of
one
the
of my
thermal.
favorite things.
Are you talking about, wait, the thermal detonator, or are you talking about the one that like inverts everything? It's got like that wow kind of sound
Yeah,
to it.
it's got like a boom. Like
Yeah.
that's one of the coolest things ever. That sound effect is amazing.
Yeah.
And I played that game. I played it a little bit. I never owned it, but I played it with some friends for a little bit. That was one of my favorite things to use. I would love to find that and just throw it just to hear the sound of it. But again, they
It's
just released like half or a third of a game.
and it's just another Call of Duty clone.
Yeah,
You level up, you unlock, you know,
even the bots, like that's something that's been in Call of Duty for a long time now.
yeah.
And you
And
could
in
argue
Call
that
of
it, like,
Duty, you have a single player campaign even now.
not that it's good.
I wouldn't know, but at least they give you one.
I wouldn't know either. I stopped playing them.
I mean, arguably the single player mode in the original Battlefront wasn't that great, and then they did a really good job in 2.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I just and by the way, we have a new Battlefront coming out in 2017, and they've already said that will have a single player campaign to it. I believe. So I'm just gonna wait for that one at this point.
Yeah.
I will probably end up getting that one. I won't play it online because I don't have PlayStation Plus, and I'll enjoy the single player, just like I do with most of my games.
I'm probably gonna wait a little bit after it comes out and then buy it because I I got very close to pre-ordering this Battlefront, and I'm so glad that I didn't.
Yeah, it that holding off on the pre-order sometimes is a really, really good idea.